Have you ever felt like you're talking but nobody's really listening? Yeah, you're not alone. So today we're going to build something called the Connection Blueprint. Think of it as your personal guide to cutting through all that noise and making sure every single word you say actually lands.
I mean, it's a real challenge, right? We're just getting hit from all sides with notifications, emails, that endless social media scroll. So in this ocean of information, how do you possibly make a real, genuine human connection? One that actually sticks?
Well, here's the secret. It's not magic. It's not some special gift you're just born with. True connection is a skill. It's something that can be designed and it can be built. It's a blueprint, and that's exactly what we're going to walk through together today.
Okay, so let's get into it. The first part of our blueprint is all about the foundation, this sort of unseen language that shapes how we interact with each other before we even say a single word. And we're going to start with one of its most powerful tools, color. So let's talk about a tool that is so powerful, but honestly, we often forget about it. It's color psychology. And look, this is not just about making things look pretty. This is the actual science of understanding how different colors can shape our emotions, guide our decisions, and really amplify your message on a deep, even subconscious level.
So, how does this actually play out in the real world? Let's look at a couple of key examples of how certain colors can completely change our feelings and what we perceive, often in ways we don't even consciously notice.
All right, let's take red. What's so fascinating here is that it has this wild, dual personality. On one hand, you've got power, passion, this amazing, fearless energy. Think of a brand like Coca-Cola or a Ferrari. It just grabs your attention. But on the other hand, that exact same intensity can easily tip over into anger, danger, or aggression. It literally gets your heart racing. So context is everything.
And then you've got blue, which is like the total opposite. Where red is all adrenaline, blue is calm. It's the color of trust, of dependability, which is exactly why so many banks and big tech companies use it. They want us to feel secure. But look, it has a dark side too. Too much blue, without any warmth, can feel cold, distant, almost uncaring. It's a really fine line between being seen as dependable and just detached.
Okay, so we've seen how color can set that subconscious emotional stage. Now, let's build on that. Let's talk about creating a space for real, person-to-person trust. How do we go from just influencing perception to actually building a genuine connection?
Just look at this number, 63%. According to some major research, that's the percentage of women who've never had a formal mentor. I mean, just think about that. How many incredible ideas, how many amazing careers have been held back because of this huge gap in connection and support?
So what's the solution? How do we fix that? Well, one really powerful idea that's emerging is the mentoring circle. Now, this is not your traditional top-down, one-on-one kind of thing. It's peer-to-peer. It's a group where colleagues can learn and grow together around a shared interest, creating this incredible built-in support network.
And the benefits here are they're huge. First off, these circles help you build those crucial networks you need to get ahead. Second, when you're in a group, it just raises the bar on accountability. You see other people taking on big challenges and inspires you to do the same. And maybe most importantly, they create a safe space to talk about the hard stuff, to confront bias and discomfort openly and actually make progress.
These circles do so much more than just build skills. They create a space where people can actually find their voice. And that gets to the real power here, the act of telling your story. As this quote says so perfectly, for any group that's been pushed to the margins, sharing your story is an act of empowerment. It's how you take back the narrative.
And that brings us to the final piece of our blueprint. So you've set the tone, you've found your voice in a trusted circle. Now what? How do you share that story with the whole world? How do you get your message out there effectively?
Well, welcome to How We Communicate Now. On platforms like TikTok or Instagram Reels, the average video is less than 60 seconds long. That's it. That is the entire window you have to grab someone's attention, tell a story, and make a connection.
So that's the big question, isn't it? When your audience's attention span is measured in seconds, not minutes, how in the world do you make a real, lasting impact?
Well, it really boils down to just a few essentials. First, you have to know your why. What is the one thing you want a viewer to get from this? Second, think visually. You need dynamic shots to keep their eyes on the screen. Third, and this is huge, use captions. So many people watch with the sound off. Fourth, tell them what to do next with a clear call to action. And finally, use music and sound to create that emotional punch and make your video unforgettable.
Okay, so let's put it all together.
We've talked about the subconscious with color, the interpersonal with trust circles, and broadcasting your message with short-form video. This is it. This is your completed connection blueprint.
So here's the most important takeaway. These 3 tools, they all work together. They're not separate ideas. You use emotional color to set the perfect subconscious tone. Then, you use trust-building circles to find your voice and craft your story in a safe space. And finally, you use what we know about short-form content to share that powerful message with the world.
See how that works? Each part makes the others stronger, creating this incredibly powerful and intentional way to communicate. So, the blueprint is in your hands now. The only real question left is, what are you going to build with it?